Have you ever stopped and wondered if your body is quietly sending you a message? Maybe it's that lingering exhaustion you can't shake, a meal you skipped without thinking twice, or a small change in how you feel that you've brushed off as just getting older. These subtle signals may seem insignificant at first, but in reality, they could be your body's desperate cry for attention, warning signs of something deeper happening beneath the surface. Today, I'm here to share with you 5 critical signs that an elderly person may experience as they approach the end of life. And believe me, you'll want to pay close attention to every word. These signs aren't just a part of growing old, they're important indicators that your body may be reaching a tipping point. Signals that could change everything if we're willing to listen. But this isn't just about medical advice, it's about something much more personal. It's a guide to help protect the ones you love, and prepare your heart for some of the toughest moments you may face in life. By staying with me until the end of this video, you'll uncover actionable steps you can take to respond to these signals. Steps that might slow down the inevitable decline and preserve the precious time you have left with the people who matter most. You'll also hear a powerful personal story of regret that hits close to home, shedding light on why ignoring these signs could leave you wishing you'd known sooner. More importantly, I'll be sharing with you the final message of this video, which holds the key to turning your awareness into meaningful action, offering you the chance to say goodbye with no regrets. Whether you're caring for aging parents, planning for your future, or simply curious about how to better understand the changes that come with age, these insights could completely alter how you think about health and wellness moving forward. Don't make the mistake of ignoring that one tip that could make all the difference in the world. Stick with me until the very end, and together, we'll decode the silent language your body is trying to communicate. Before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support means the world to me, and if you find value in today's video, you can help me keep these important conversations going by liking and sharing it with others. If you enjoy the content and the message of this video, I'd love to hear from you. Please drop a comment saying 1 if you found this topic helpful or 0 if you think I could improve. Your feedback helps me create better videos for you. Now, let's dive right in. Getting out of bed starts to feel like an impossible task, like you're scaling a mountain with no summit in sight. You lie there, your body still heavy with sleep, telling yourself, just a little longer, as the minutes slip by, turning into hours, until the day is nearly gone. You haven't even done anything strenuous, but an overwhelming fatigue settles in, a deep, unexplained weariness that lingers throughout the day. And then, you hear the common refrain, "That's just what happens when you get old. It's just lethargy, no big deal." I've heard those words countless times, hundreds, no, thousands of times, and yet, it's simply not true. This isn't just aging. It's the first major sign that your body is shifting, a decline in motivation. Many patients I've treated over the years, those who were nearing the end of their lives, shared similar thoughts with me. They'd say, "Getting out of bed feels like a chore now. I don't want to do anything." What struck me about their words was not just the tiredness in their tone, but the sense of despair they carried. As their energy to live slowly drained away, their hearts seemed to follow. These changes, though small at first, should never be ignored. They are the body's way of telling its final story. I don't feel like doing anything. At first, this might sound like a typical, passing complaint. After all, who hasn't had a day when they just feel off, right? But, as I would come to realize too late, those seemingly innocent words were the beginning of something much more serious. Over time, that fatigue didn't just remain a fleeting feeling, it became real. The body became heavier. Simple tasks, like moving your fingertips or even wiggling your toes, felt like an immense effort. As blood flow slowed and appetite began to diminish, metabolism itself seemed to stall. It was almost as if the body, in its infinite wisdom, switched to a survival mode, conserving energy and shutting down functions that were no longer deemed necessary. Day by day, movements became less frequent, and the fatigue deepened. Yet, Many people continue to dismiss these changes as just getting older. I certainly did. Even with my wife, I noticed the same patterns. She began waking up later and later. She used to be the one who would greet the early morning with a steaming cup of coffee, always the first to rise, calling out in her familiar loving voice, "Honey, wake up." But one morning, she lingered in bed for an hour longer than usual. Then two. I started to assume it was nothing. Maybe she wasn't sleeping well at night. Maybe she was just tired. It's just age, right? I brushed it off. Then one day, she said, "I'm so tired lately. It feels strange." I responded absent-mindedly, "You're getting older too, huh? Just rest a little more." I dismissed her words, thinking it was nothing to worry about. But 3 months later, she collapsed suddenly and never woke up. It was then that I realized, far too late, that I had missed the signs. I, who had spent years helping countless patients prepare for their final journey, had failed to notice my wife's last signals. I missed her final voice, her last gaze. I missed the opportunity to truly understand what was happening before it was too late. So, I want to earnestly plead with you. Do not ignore the signals your body is sending. Those small, seemingly insignificant changes could be the last communication your body sends before the end. If you overlook them, you may lose the chance to say goodbye, and that's a regret no one should have to carry. It's not as difficult as it may seem. Just 10 minutes a day. Step outside, feel the warmth of the sun, take in the breeze. Small movements are enough. Wiggle your fingers, tap your toes. Little by little, you'll notice the blood flowing again, your body starting to awaken. Don't stop talking. Communication isn't just about exchanging words. It's about keeping your mind alive and maintaining the rhythm of life. Above all, never dismiss someone who says, "I'm feeling really tired lately." Thinking it's just age could be the most dangerous trap you fall into. At that moment, the body begins to weaken more rapidly. But here's the good news. If you take action now, you can slow that decline. If you've been feeling exhausted this morning, or if this fatigue has lingered longer than usual, I urge you to stay with me until the end of this story. The answers you're looking for are here, within these words. We've already covered the first warning sign, the fading motivation and energy, but the body's signals don't stop there. Have you noticed lately that your appetite isn't what it used to be? Maybe food doesn't taste as good, or you simply find yourself eating less. This isn't just a change in your taste buds. It's one of the first reactions your body gives when it begins preparing for the end. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Picture this, a steaming bowl of soup, the warm, comforting scent filling the room. A plate of freshly cooked rice, sitting in front of you, your spoon resting in your hand. But despite how inviting it all looks, your hand lingers. It doesn't move. You take a few bites, but then set the spoon down, the meal unfinished. You feel no desire to continue eating. In the past, you might have grumbled about the side dishes or complained about the taste, but you would have finished your meal with a smile. Not anymore. Now, even eating a single bowl of food feels like a chore. You think, "It's fine, I just don't have an appetite today. Maybe my taste has changed." It's normal for someone my age, right? But do you believe that? This change, this lack of appetite, isn't just a matter of preference. It's the second signal your body is sending, quietly yet powerfully. This is a sign that your body is slowly beginning to shut down its systems. And it's a signal far too important to ignore. What I'm about to share isn't just about a change in taste. It's the second major signal, a loss of appetite. As the body starts to change, the first system that gets affected is digestion. To conserve energy, your body begins reducing its ability to process food. The stomach no longer needs to process large quantities of food. Digestion slows down, and even swallowing becomes difficult and uncomfortable. This isn't something you can brush off as just not being hungry. It could be a sign that your body is gradually giving up the fight to survive, quietly veering off life's path. Let me tell you about Mary Thompson, an 80-year-old woman who dedicated her life to caring for others. Every day, without fail, Mary would be in the kitchen early, simmering soups, preparing casseroles for her family. It was her way of showing love. But over time, her hands stopped moving as they once did. These days, her granddaughter brings her a bowl of homemade chicken noodle soup and gently places it on the table. One day, that bowl remained untouched, even after mealtime had passed. "Grandma, why aren't you eating?" her granddaughter asked with concern. Mary softly replied, "I just don't have an appetite anymore." At first, her family didn't think much of it. It's just a change in appetite as she gets older. She's probably just tired, they assumed. But it wasn't just that day. The next day, and the day after, the soup remained cold, untouched on the table. Her meals became smaller and smaller until she could barely manage to eat anything at all. By the time they rushed her to the hospital, it was too late. Her body no longer had the strength to absorb the nutrients it desperately needed. Leaving food uneaten, struggling to swallow, or losing the desire to eat, these aren't just the natural signs of aging. They are your body's way of saying that it is starting to shut down its vital functions. And it's a signal you must never ignore. So, what should we do when we notice this signal of loss of appetite? It's not complicated, but it does require action. First and foremost, if an elderly person is eating less, don't push them to eat more than they can handle. Instead, try switching to soft, easily digestible foods that don't put unnecessary strain on their body. Forcing them to eat can cause stress, both physically and emotionally. But at the same time, letting them skip meals entirely is just as dangerous. You can't just leave them to eat alone. It's important to sit together as a family, share some warm conversation. This simple act alone can help spark their appetite. If an elderly person refuses food, don't say something like, "Eat more. You need it." Instead, try suggesting, "Shall we eat together?" Look for small, thoughtful ways to reignite their interest in food. If the food tastes bland or unappetizing, maybe you could adjust the seasoning slightly or try a different preparation. If swallowing becomes difficult or if the food feels heavy, don't ignore it. Consult a medical professional right away. Difficulty swallowing, known as dysphagia, is not something you should brush off. If this issue persists, it could prevent them from getting enough nutrients, leading to rapid physical decline. Loss of appetite is often the body's instinct to conserve energy. But if eating is entirely avoided, the body starts to lose even that last bit of energy it has left. That's why it's so important to take this signal seriously. Our bodies are constantly sending us messages, but too often, we dismiss them as unimportant. In doing so, we can cross an irreversible line. And there's another sign, equally as subtle and easy to overlook. Have you noticed any changes in your bathroom habits lately? Maybe you're experiencing more frequent urination or constipation than usual. As we age, these physiological functions don't seem as natural or automatic as they once were. But can we just dismiss these changes as just getting older? You finish your meal, feeling satisfied, and then head to the bathroom. You sit down, expecting things to go as usual, but something doesn't feel right. Your body doesn't respond the way it used to. What was once effortless now feels uncomfortable and strange. What once happened without a second thought, going to the bathroom, is now something that requires your full attention. You sit to urinate, but it doesn't come easily. You strain, and only a few drops trickle out, leaving you feeling unsatisfied, as though your body is no longer doing its job. Some days, you might feel the urge to go too often, running to the bathroom repeatedly. Other days, hours pass without any urge at all. Your stomach feels heavy, bloated, as though it's filled with gas. Constipation becomes a more frequent issue, and even when you do urinate, the color is darker and the smell is stronger than usual. Many people dismiss these signs, thinking, "That's just what happens when you get older. Maybe I'm just not drinking enough water. It'll pass." But I'm here to tell you that this is a signal you cannot ignore. It's the third warning your body is sending: changes in urination and bowel movements, which can signal a major crisis in your body. Elimination is one of the body's most basic and honest functions. It's essential for maintaining health. When the kidneys and intestines fail to do their job properly, waste starts to build up in the body, like poison spreading internally. The result: cloudy, dark urine, hardened stools, excessive gas buildup, and a sluggish digestive system. Ignoring these changes means allowing the body to slowly crumble from within. Even though you may look fine on the outside, your internal health is deteriorating. Take the story of John Carter, for example. At 74 years old, John had always been healthy, maintaining an active lifestyle free from issues like constipation. But one day, he quietly told his family, "Even after going to the bathroom, I don't feel refreshed. Something just doesn't feel right." His family brushed it off at first, thinking, "It's just a temporary discomfort." They didn't think much of it, assuming it would pass with time. But the symptoms didn't just go away. They persisted. Weeks later, when John finally visited the hospital, he was diagnosed with kidney dysfunction. "I thought it was just bloating, no big deal," he admitted. By the time he made it to the hospital, his kidneys had lost more than half of their function. If he had delayed even longer, he might have found himself facing dialysis, a treatment he could have avoided with earlier intervention. This is why it's so important to act immediately if you notice these signals in your body. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to reverse the damage. Here's what you can do now if you recognize this signal in yourself or a loved one. First, the most basic yet crucial step is staying hydrated. Drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. The kidneys rely on a steady supply of fluid to help filter and expel toxins from the body. Without enough water, these toxins will accumulate, causing further damage. Second, pay attention to your diet. To prevent constipation, eat fiber-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains regularly. These foods stimulate your intestines and promote healthy elimination. Without enough fiber, your digestive system will slow down, and elimination becomes more difficult. Third, take note of the color and smell of your urine. If it's unusually dark or has a strong odor, it could be more than just dehydration. It might be a sign of kidney issues. If you notice these changes, don't wait. Seek a thorough medical evaluation. Ignoring these early warning signs could have serious long-term consequences. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Fourth, stay active. Even light walking or stretching can stimulate the intestines and help relieve constipation. Movement is essential for overall health. Elimination isn't just a biological process. It's a vital indicator of your health. When your body starts to struggle with elimination, it's a sign that something isn't functioning properly. If even the smallest changes occur in these functions, don't dismiss them as insignificant. Your body is trying to communicate with you, and ignoring those messages could lead to irreversible pain down the road. Pay attention to those signals and act before it's too late. Now, let's move on to another subtle but critical signal: the weakening of the nervous system. Have you ever noticed that your hands don't feel as strong as they once did? You're not lifting anything heavy, but holding a light cup feels more difficult than it should. You pick up a fork, but your fingers feel weak, and the food slips from your grasp. Writing becomes harder. Your hand doesn't cooperate as it once did, and the letters come out crooked or smudged. Perhaps you've felt this way at some point. Maybe you've even struggled just to clench and open your hand. It's not just uncomfortable, it's unnerving. When you tap your knee, the reflex that used to happen automatically now responds slowly or not at all. It didn't used to be like this, you might think. Those words carry not only discomfort but an unsettling sense of anxiety. These changes aren't just a part of aging. They could be a warning from your nervous system. The fourth major signal your body sends is a decline in nervous system function, starting quietly but unmistakably. The nervous system is like the body's communication lifeline, carrying commands from the brain to your fingertips, toes, and everything in between. As the signals between your brain and body begin to slow, your movements become sluggish. The risk of falling increases. A small fall in old age is more than just a bruise. It can lead to serious injuries like fractures, head trauma, or even permanent disability. Many people complain, "My hands feel weak. My legs feel numb. I keep losing my balance when I walk." These aren't just complaints about getting older. They are quiet warnings that your nervous system is no longer functioning as it used to. When the signals your brain is sending aren't reaching your arms and legs properly, it's a sign that communication within the body is breaking down. If left unchecked, this can lead to more frequent falls, difficulty moving, and eventually, even walking will feel like an impossible task. Your sense of balance fades, and with it, your confidence. Daily life begins to shrink as the body's connection to the world becomes weaker. Have you ever dropped food because your grip failed while eating? Or stumbled while getting dressed? Or tapped your knee and felt nothing? That sinking feeling in your chest as you realize something wasn't right? If any of this sounds familiar, don't ignore it. One simple habit could change your life. The most important thing you can do is keep moving. It doesn't have to be intense exercise or anything complicated. Start with small movements, like clenching and opening your hands. These simple actions help stimulate your nervous system, keeping those important pathways open. These small movements serve an essential purpose. They help wake up your nerves and open the pathways that allow signals to travel through your body. Another crucial practice is balance training. As we age, our ability to stay centered naturally declines, but that doesn't mean we have to accept it. One of the simplest ways to build strength and balance is by practicing standing on one leg. Try walking slowly while paying attention to your center of gravity. This simple exercise helps create a strong shield against falls, which become more dangerous as we age. If balance issues become more noticeable, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Physical therapy or nerve stimulation can help you regain balance and functionality. Above all, don't deceive yourself with thoughts like, "It'll be fine. I'm just getting older." The reality is, your diet plays a huge role in maintaining nerve health. Foods rich in B vitamins, such as nuts, eggs, and fatty fish, help protect and regenerate nerve cells, keeping them healthy and active. A simple, balanced diet becomes a powerful defense against the unnoticed changes that happen inside your body. These seemingly small efforts, eating the right foods, engaging in light movement, practicing balance, can slow nerve decline, reduce the risk of sudden falls, and keep your daily life stable and safe. Your body is always speaking, even in silence. Don't ignore those whispers. Health doesn't fail all at once. It deteriorates quietly, often gradually, and sometimes it announces itself through these subtle signs. If you start noticing and responding to these signals early, you're taking the first step toward living a longer, healthier life. But now, let's talk about the fifth and final signal, one you must never overlook. Shortness of breath and unusually cold hands and feet are not just signs of fatigue or a fleeting mood swing. These could be urgent warning signs of serious issues with your heart and blood circulation. You're walking as usual, but suddenly you find yourself gasping for air. Your chest feels tight, constricted. Even while sitting still, you're struggling to breathe comfortably. You glance down and notice that your fingertips are icy cold. Your toes feel the same way, cold, as if they've been exposed to freezing temperatures. It's not winter, and yet your hands and feet feel as if they've been out in the cold for too long. Even warm water doesn't help. They stay chilled. Have you ever experienced this? You might reassure yourself, thinking, I'm just tired. Maybe I haven't been exercising enough. Some days my circulation just isn't what it used to be. But let me tell you, this is not just a minor issue. Shortness of breath and cold extremities are clear indicators that your body isn't circulating oxygen and blood properly. Shortness of breath doesn't necessarily mean that your lungs aren't taking in oxygen. It means your heart isn't pumping that oxygen-rich blood throughout your body. As the heart's ability to pump weakens, it begins to prioritize blood flow to the vital organs, your heart, brain, and lungs, leaving your hands, feet, and other peripheral tissues with less blood and less warmth. This lack of circulation causes cold hands and feet. As warm blood reaches fewer areas, your entire body feels trapped in this chill. But what happens if you ignore this warning? It could lead to sudden collapse, without any prior indication or preparation. Robert Hayes, a 77-year-old man, started feeling breathless after climbing just a few stairs. His family, concerned but dismissive, said, "Dad, you need to exercise more. It's just a part of getting older." They brushed it off, thinking it was nothing to worry about. But 2 months later, Robert lost consciousness and collapsed. By the time he reached the hospital, his heart function was severely compromised. It was only then that his family realized their father's body had been sending clear signals for a long time, signals they had failed to recognize. If you notice this signal in yourself or a loved one, take action immediately. Thankfully, there are small, simple habits you can adopt to protect your heart and lung function and improve circulation. These small efforts can make a world of difference. First, practice deep, slow breathing. This technique is simple but powerful. Inhale deeply through your nose, allowing your lungs to fill with air, then exhale slowly and steadily through your mouth. This helps your lungs absorb more oxygen and allows your heart to distribute that oxygen more evenly and stably throughout your body. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Next, focus on staying warm. If your hands and feet are cold, don't ignore them. Soak your hands and feet in warm water or wear thick socks and gloves indoors to help maintain body heat. Warm blood vessels allow blood to flow more easily, helping to maintain circulation and keep your extremities warm. Above all, keep moving. You don't need to do anything strenuous. Light walking, stretching, or simple arm exercises will help improve circulation, stabilize your heartbeat, and naturally strengthen lung function. When these small movements become part of your daily routine, they become one of the most effective ways to protect your health and well-being. Your body is always sending signals, even in silence. Don't let these whispers go unheard. When you listen to these signals, you're taking the first, most important step toward a healthier future. Simple actions like stimulating your toes gently, massaging the soles of your feet, or slowly opening and closing your fingers can do wonders. These small movements help to wake up your body's circulation, allowing warmth to return to cold hands and feet, and easing labored breathing. But if shortness of breath persists, or if your hands and feet remain icy despite these efforts, don't wait. Seek medical attention immediately for a thorough evaluation. Problems with breathing and circulation may not just be part of getting older, they could signal something more serious, like a heart or blood vessel issue. Early diagnosis and treatment are critical for preventing further complications. Remember, a small change in habit can lead to big improvements in your health. Listening to your body's signals is the first step toward protecting yourself. Shortness of breath and cold extremities are not just signs of fatigue. They are your body's way of saying, "It's getting harder to move like I used to. Please take care of me." Those who don't ignore these signals will hold on to their health longer and more deeply. Now, as we move to the final chapter, let's take a moment to review the 5 critical warnings we've discussed. Loss of motivation. Even daily movements start to feel burdensome. Loss of appetite and difficulty swallowing. Food feels stuck, and the urge to eat fades. Changes in elimination. Bowel rhythms change, and urine may become darker or have a strong smell. Decline in nervous system function. Hands weaken, reflexes slow, and balance is compromised. Shortness of breath and cold hands and feet. Signals that your heart and circulation may not be functioning properly. These 5 signs are not just a part of aging. They could be your body's way of preparing for its final moments. But the path to decline is not set in stone. We still have the power to turn things around. Thinking, "I'll be fine. I'm just tired. Everyone my age feels this way," is one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into. The difference between those who recognize these small signals and take action, and those who let them pass unnoticed, can be as stark as night and day. The lives of those who act will be vastly different from those who ignore the warning signs. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. We've discussed the 5 critical signals your body sends when it's time to pay attention. Signals that many of us overlook as simply getting older. But as we've seen, these signs can be much more than that. They are warnings, letting us know when something deeper is happening, and by recognizing them early, we can take action to protect our health. So, what have you learned today? Is there a signal you recognize in yourself or a loved one? Comment below and share one thing you've learned from this video that you will bring into your life going forward. Your experience might help someone else make a positive change, too. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss another valuable health tip. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to share more insights with you in the future. Thank you for watching, and remember, your body is always speaking to you. It's up to you to listen and take action before it's too late.